Today, I'm going to talk about four things that researchers have identified that predict divorce. Couples do this during communication, and they're extremely destructive to the relationship. So, I'm going to describe what these four things are, as well as the solutions to each one. So, stay tuned. Hello, I'm Dr. Brian. I'm a licensed professional counselor in private practice, and my channel is focused on helping you make your relationship the best it can be and to be the healthiest person possible in that relationship. So, the research I'm about to talk about comes from John Gottman from the University of Washington. And they would watch couples in apartment settings and evaluate what the masters of relationships did and what the disasters did, and were able to predict divorce based on their observations. And so these four things I'm going to talk about are predictors of divorce. These predictors of divorce are called the four horsemen of the apocalypse. These four things spell the end of days for a relationship as well. So the first horseman is called criticism. And criticism during conflict is described as an attack on somebody's character. It can be described as a you always or you never statement. So, you always lay on that couch, or you never do the dishes. And it's an assault on their character. Some people try to get their needs met by criticizing, but it just simply doesn't work. It makes it worse. And so the solution to criticism is learning to complain about something in a softer way without blaming that person or without attacking their character. So rather than a you never or you always statement, it would be learning to complain about something non-judgmentally, like the dishes aren't done. What a mess. I could really use your help right now. Are you able to help me? Bringing up an issue in that way, complaining rather than blaming or attacking, is going to be much more successful. The second horseman is called defensiveness. And defensiveness is something that we naturally do when we feel criticized. And if somebody's attacking us about something we feel like we haven't done, then we naturally will feel like an innocent victim and feel attacked, and we'll seek to defend ourselves. Somebody may say in response to, you never do the dishes, what are you talking about? I did the dishes 6 months ago. You can't tell me I never do the dishes. And so they'll get into this defensive mode, and it doesn't work either. The solution to defensiveness is learning to own your part of the problem, even if you think it's 1% of the problem. It may be just considering the fact that maybe you could help around the house a little bit more, and you realize there's some truth to what they're saying. And so really learning to own your part in it rather than get defensive is the solution to defensiveness. The third horseman is called stonewalling. Stonewalling is defined as a type of withdrawal or disconnection during conflict. It's putting up an impassive stone wall to the other person. So usually when somebody stonewalls, they just stop talking. And they stop talking because they either feel overwhelmed by the conflict, or they just feel like nothing they say is really going to matter. And so they'll shut down, and they're usually just overwhelmed and they're flooded. And flooding means that they're basically getting into a fight or flight mode, and they're shutting down during the conflict. And so the solution to stonewalling is really learning to self-soothe. It's learning to down-regulate your emotions and calm yourself down during the conflict. This is largely a male issue, according to Gottman, where 85% of men will stonewall, and they're getting flooded, they're getting overwhelmed by what's coming at them, and they tend to shut down. The fourth horseman is called contempt. And contempt is an air of superiority that is going on during the conflict. So it's kind of like I'm up here and you're down here. So contempt can look like sarcasm, kind of like a backhanded put down. It could be mockery of the other person, like mimicking their voice, for example. Contempt can also be shown on somebody's facial expression. And it's often like a pinching of the left cheek and a rolling of the eyes, kind of like, and you can see the contempt that's going on in the relationship when you're watching these couples. Our solution to contempt is more of a broad solution in that you really need to create a culture of appreciation for your partner and pride for them. You really need to build one another up on a regular basis, as well as how you think about them. If you're really thinking contemptuously about them, how terrible and awful they are, pay attention to that, stop it, and practice pride and appreciation for your partner. Thank you for watching this video today. If you're finding this helpful, please click on the like button and subscribe button, and I will see you next time.